The girl let her maid pluck her eyebrows, paint her face white, and blacken her teeth, all so she could become the princess others expected her to be. She grew more and more compliant, like a bird trapped in a cage. After her coming-of-age ceremony, the princess became famous throughout Kyoto. Every man longed to catch a glimpse of her beauty. Every time her maid returned from outside, her hands were stuffed with love letters. Word of the princess soon reached the ears of princes. In the next moment, they scrambled to drive to her house. A woman told the princess to choose a husband from 5 letters. The princess refused, saying she couldn't pick someone she'd never met, then stood up and left. Peering through the curtains, the princess saw several men frantically fighting over a spot, all declaring their love for her. She had no desire to marry, but after hearing their words, she came up with a plan. She told them to bring the treasures each had just mentioned, and then they could ask for her hand. The tutor standing beside her was shocked. It was obvious the princess was doing this on purpose. Fortunately, the princes didn't get angry. Even as they left, they kept talking about her beauty. As soon as they were gone, the princess returned to her original appearance. It was cherry blossom season. The princess happily twirled under a cherry tree until she accidentally bumped into a child. The child's mother quickly knelt down to apologize to her. In that moment, she realized she was no longer the happy little girl she used to be. On her way back, she ran into an old playmate. But just as their eyes met, a man grabbed the boy. The princess knew, deep down, that things could never go back to how they were. 3 years later, surprisingly, the princes came back each with treasures to ask for her hand in marriage. The first prince brought a Penglai jade branch. When placed under a mirror, it glowed brilliantly. But before the princess could finish admiring it, an argument broke out outside the door. It turned out to be a craftsman come to demand unpaid wages, and the prince, who was actually a minister, refused to pay. The second prince had bought a fire rat for a coat. The princess told him to throw the fur into the fire. So the prince tossed the coat into the flames, and in an instant, it burned to ashes. It had never been a fire rat fur coat at all, just a beautiful ordinary dress. The prince was overwhelmed with defeat. The third prince had taken the request seriously. He'd actually gone to slay a dragon. But before he even laid eyes on the dragon, he was almost swallowed by the waves. The fourth prince seemed deeply affectionate, but he was actually a womanizer. He hadn't found the Indian stone Buddha he'd mentioned. Instead, he'd found flowers growing among rocks, and had recited a poem to the sky. The fifth prince knew the princess didn't care about treasures, so he said he would abandon all worldly ties and live in seclusion with her in the mountains. Just then, her mother reached out and interrupted the princess's thoughts. Convinced the prince was not a good man, the mother pretended to be the princess and scared all the princes away.